What is good, everyone? Welcome in to this edition of the Views from the 573 podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. We are back with some more NBA offseason in full swing. We got NBA draft talk. We got trades galore. We thought we were going to have a little bit more. Charles and I were kind of talking about pre-show. We were thinking we were going to have a Jaylen Brown trade to discuss later on in this pod, but we have a couple big trades. Giannis to the Heat finally happened. LaMelo getting traded to the Wolves. We're going to talk about that, but we're going to start off with the draft. But before we get into that, of course, Charles, how you doing, brother? It's been a wild few days here in the world of the NBA. The season just ended not too long ago, and things are already getting crazy.
Yep, that's the name of the game in the off season. I'm doing I'm doing great right now, my brother. It's always great to talk about these NBA things this week,
Yeah.
especially during this off season, which is just like you said, it's been a crazy few days since last week. So pretty soon Jaylen Brown will be traded.
Yeah. and like just even today, like before we sat down, like Miles Bridges got traded to the Suns. So it's
See,
like
I didn't even know that. So what was with that trade package? You just gave me
so
some news.
so so the trade package, it was Miles Bridges and I want to say it was somebody else. But Miles Bridges goes to the Suns. I believe it was a first round pick that Charlotte was trading to the Suns, and the Suns are trading Grayson Allen, and a couple other guys that I can't think of right now, but at like a 2033 first round pick. And somebody might note, hey, that's the second 2033 pick that the Hornets have gotten. You know, they got one from Minnesota. It's like, okay, so where are they seeing from the class of 2033? To get two first round picks from that draft. They must know somebody. It's something.
Yes,
But
you said is Charlotte retooling right now because they had drafted the
I
point guard to take LaMelo's place. So I feel like they're going to be a decent team in the East. They still got the pieces in Canupo and Brandon Miller, but in
yeah.
Adonai Reed, I feel like they still got a majority of that Corey and Kobe White. Like I feel like Charlotte going to be right really good this year, even without LaMelo.
Whispers John Morant. Uh,
I would not be surprised.
well,
But he
hey, I
just
mean the guys from South Carolina, and I mean I know it's a different Carolina that Charlotte's in, but I mean that's close enough. I mean you can make that work. Um, but it would, I don't know. I guess it wouldn't make sense, because of Lamelo and his personality, and then you bring in Ja. I guess it's just like they're not too dissimilar with how with their personality. So I guess maybe not. But we're gonna talk about that trade a little bit later on. We gotta talk about the NBA draft that happened last Tuesday night, and of course round two on Wednesday. We talked a little bit about it last week, and we talked about who's going to go number one, or kind of all that stuff. And you know what, Charles? To be honest, kind of the first five picks, it seemed like it was all straight up chalk. With who we
yeah.
thought was going to go, top five. Of course, Devonta goes number one. Peterson goes number two. The Jazz. Boozer goes to the Grizzlies at three.
Which
Caleb Wilson, Bulls, and Wagler. Clippers, we were wondering if the Clippers were going to trade five, and because there's some talk about that. They stay and pick Wagler from Illinois.
Yeah, those top five were basically set in stone in the order. I think everybody had them going. Legit, like I was saying on my drafts, like months and months ahead. And well, besides the Peterson and the Bunch, because at one point it was heavy Peterson, and obviously, it went on the late everything going on with Peterson. It hyped up to the Bunch and the Bunch basically was number one. But like you said, even if the Clippers did trade the pick, I think everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen with Kawhi and their deal. Because
Yeah.
I know you probably heard them trade talks for Kawhi right now. And
Mm-hmm.
if he becomes if his contract gets voided, he becomes a free agent, then that's a whole nother story. So I mean, I don't even know what to think. I say Clippers, they got a good pick because I watched some highlights of King Wagler, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good guard thing.
He's
Putting next to
cold.
Darius Garland. Yeah, yeah, that's a great guard to have next to Darius Garland.
Yeah, like just watching him, like he's crafty. Like I know they mentioned like Halliburton comps a couple times during the broadcast. I'm like, yeah, man, and like he can also go and put up 40. In the blink of an eye. But yeah, no, the Kawhi stuff is interesting. It's interesting to see what's going to happen there. I know some people are talking about like, hey, maybe he goes back to Toronto or maybe he goes back to San Antonio. Like,
Yeah, the irony about it's so crazy because like now you're willing to go back to Toronto, which is crazy. Which Kawhi, you should have stayed there and won a few more rings and yo man, just stayed in the North. And then San Antonio, that's pretty, that's a pretty self-explanatory.
yeah, that's a storybook type of ending because I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
Kawhi would be what they need. I think
yeah, yeah. I can think Kawhi would make them a heavy favorite this year. Basically, I'd probably look at them in my Thunder. It's like the favorites to win the championship if they would get Kawhi and a move like that.
yeah, I mean, it would be a perfect fit. I mean, like they can take the brunt off of Kawhi early on, and then Kawhi can come in and help them out late, which is what they needed. With how the finals went, they need that like steadying, like calm presence, and like Kawhi would bring that later,
Yeah, they had
late
Kawhi.
games.
If they would have had Kawhi, they would have won championships this year. I believe that would
Man,
have been enough to beat the Knicks. Because we know Kawhi has no problem dealing with big defenders against him.
hmm
But also, he's a guy that you just know you just hope he misses, especially around the mid range area, because he will put you in the weight room and fade away off you and knock it down all net. It's like his jump shot like a straight line drive. Like you soon as you see it going in, it's flat, kind of flat. So it's just like it's online. So when he misses, you're like, Kawhi he just had a malfunction. Software update. It's kind of
yeah, he missed the latest iOS update. Like we got to
yeah.
get reboot him. Yeah, but yeah, I think he would have definitely helped, but I'm interested to see what happens there. But like the rest of the top five, I mean, the Bonsa and Peterson, we kind of talked a little bit about their fits with both those teams last week when we did the pod. Boozer to Memphis, not the biggest shock there at all, going there. And I gotta tell you what, Charles, this is interesting because now out of the last, you know, in college basketball, the Grizzlies now have the last two guys that were consensus the Naismith Player of the Years in Edie and Boozer in the front court, which is kind of nuts because
Really?
like I
Yeah,
don't
that is
know
nuts.
that is rare for that to I think even happen to have two of those caliber of guys on the same team, much less in like in the front court. I believe it was what was it? Jamari Broom from Auburn won it the year before. Um, but like these guys were consensus guys, and like I think Edie had even won it back to back. So like the fact here is like you've got these two guys now front court. Um, I'm tell you what, and honestly, this is probably I think this is like the first time the Grizzlies have even gotten in on like the high profile Duke guys that have come out
Yeah.
in the last
I was
few
just gonna
years.
say, yeah. When the last time they probably had like a high profile Duke guy? You just made me think about that.
I don't know if they've ever had one. I mean, the last one I can
Yeah,
think
I
of that
heard that
comes to
too. Yeah,
mind was Shane Battier, but that's
yeah. I
been
was just
years
gonna say
ago.
Shane Battier, but yeah, like super years ago.
Man.
We were in elementary
But
school when he played for the Grizzlies, if I'm not mistaken.
man, like we're talking about like some of the pyramid days and also the early days in the form. Like that's
Yeah,
what we're
yeah,
talking.
yeah. So,
Um,
so, so any listeners to the pod, yeah, we're that old. We grew up in the 2000s, so that should let you know all you need to know.
yeah,
Early 2000s, I might add, not 2010s.
yeah, yeah. So it has been a minute since we've had a high profile Duke kind of player, but I mean, you and I were kind of talking about pre-show. It kind of feels like it's not grit and grind per se, but it's just like getting back to being that physical, tough, like that identity where it's like we're gonna make your guy's life a living nightmare for 48 minutes, and we're gonna make sure you have the most amount of bruises that you will get in a game this year. It's like what those front courts with Mark and Zach were kind of like in that grit and grind run, where it's like, bro, like nobody wanted to face those guys. Nobody wanted to because you knew what was going to happen. Like you were going to get bullied, and like they
Yeah,
also just like had a good, and they had a high basketball IQ to be able to process the game and know where to go and how to
Then
operate.
then you forgot to mention Tony Allen harassing your best perimeter players on defense or your best player.
Well, hey, I'm hoping Cedric Howard can be like that too. I'm hoping he can be like that. Which I think it's kind of funny because he was interviewing guys. I think he was talking to guys at the draft, and like I think somebody made a comment like, who's that NBA exec? And like, no, that's a player, dude. So, because that's how he came off. Like he came off like he was a NBA executive, but like, it's also funny because before Coward went to the draft last year, he like there's some talk of like him maybe going to Duke and playing for a year. So he and Boozer were almost teammates at Duke, but now they're actually teammates in Memphis, and they're wearing a different blue, my preferable shade of blue, if we're being honest.
not the dark, not the dark blue.
Yeah, no, a little bit of shade to the Duke guys, but like, hey, I like the blue, the green grind blue that we have. But
It'll be fine. No one likes Duke anyways, unless you're a Duke fan.
that is true.
I'm a Kentucky blue guy.
Hey, there you go. It's like Tennessee for me. Like that is the shade of orange. I see Texas like, nope, that's fake. I see Illinois like, nope, get that out of here. It's like the same thing with blue. Like there's so many teams that wear blue. It's like I'm sure Duke fans probably look at Kentucky as like, nah, get that out of here.
Yeah, they do. That's an ongoing rivalry forever too. So
man, it's true. But I mean, no, I'm really excited about it. It seemed like Isola was excited too because I think they were talking about like maybe doing some pick and rolls with Boozer and Edie, which I'm like, if you're doing that, good luck. Have fun defending that.
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's an interesting pick and roll. Well, then again, I say that like big on big pick and rolls have been happening forever, 4 and 5, especially
yeah.
more prominent in this later NBA. Had KD coming off the Steven Adams screen, Giannis coming off a Brook Lopez screen. We seen that where he's going downhill just to kick it back out to Brook for the three. So it's really prominent, but
it is.
it's always tough to guard when you got a big forward and the other big. You
Yeah,
just make me think
I mean,
about
like
nasty
Edie is like
combinations of that.
7'4", 300 pounds or something like that. So it's like,
Think about the jive boost the pick and roll though. Caboose can shoot the three,
yeah,
and yeah, like jive attacking downhill is
if Ja is still there, that is the key point. I don't know.
yeah, that's if Jive's still there.
If he is still there, I don't know.
We have things and when they can't seem to find a team to get Ja, Ja might be there at the beginning of the season, and who knows? Maybe they work it out, and he stays in Memphis.
Well,
Won't keep my fingers
I
crossed
think
or hold my breath.
I think honestly at this point, like Ja's probably going to need to play to get what everybody wants, which is kind of like the Grizzlies get the most value you can out of him, and Ja get like a new, fresh place to start. I think that's inevitably what's probably going. They're going to come to that conclusion, like, hey, we're going to have to do this to get what we both want, and then we'll see what goes from there. And see who would want to trade for him. But I mean, like for the time being right now, like I'm excited about the Boozer pickup. I'm really excited to see him, put in the work. I'm excited, for Summer League. Summer League starting this week because we got DeBonta and Peterson playing against each other, and then we also got Boozer and Caleb Wilson playing against each other. 1 versus 2 and 3 versus 4. Perfect start to Summer League. I was about to say, who is one of your favorite first round picks? That's not Thunder related. Like, is there a guy that you like? Take a look at, it's like, man, I like that fit.
I like the Nate I meant pick. I think that was a good pick for Miami. Even though like you say he didn't have his best shooting season, shooter's gonna shoot. So just because shooter has a down season or he's coming off of injuries too, so I'm gonna give him a pass. But pretty much if you're a shooter, it usually should translate. Even though sometimes it might doesn't, but I just think it's slightly going up potential. Uh, yeah, I think I like that fit for Miami. because you've got someone shooting in a big wing for however you want to look at it to pair next with Giannis, Bam, all those guys. I think that's a good pickup.
I know, wait, that pick's going to Milwaukee. That pick's okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
the Nate I meant did.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
It,
okay.
it's it's see, it's a stupid NBA thing where like they still had the hats of the teams that had those picks. You know, it's like
Yeah, but I see. I'm thinking he was going. I didn't even know he got traded.
yeah,
I didn't even know he
the
got
13th
traded.
pick
But
was part of that Giannis trade. It was part of that Giannis trade.
yeah, okay. That's
Yeah.
well, never mind. It's going to the Bucks. Okay. Unless they do go after Jalen Brown again, but Giannis
Yeah.
gone, so
But either way, I
that's
still think for a guy that was picked like, that was projected to be like top 5, top 10 type of pick. I mean, getting him like there's bust potential, but there's also a high there's a high potential. Like hey, like if he works out, that's a really great pick at 13 to get in the Giannis trade. Uh, yeah, no, I like that pick. I've seen a lot of people like the Darius Acuff pick going to Sacramento. Now
I was just gonna,
the
I was just
Sacramento
gonna,
thing isn't fun, but
yeah, yeah,
Acuff is fun. He's going to bring some
yeah.
fun there.
He's gonna bring some fun there. I was gonna say another pick that I do thoroughly think is gonna be pretty massive. Golden State getting Yaxel. I think
Yeah.
Yaxel is just a great
Mm-hmm.
fit. They got their guy in Yaxel,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that's gonna be a really great fit.
Yeah, I think Yaxel's going to start like right away. Pretty much seems like, and he fit. It seems like he fits a lot like what they want out of their guys. You know,
Yeah,
and so it feels like that is a perfect fit for him to go to Golden State and be in that system. I think another guy. I mean, go on the Acuff thing. Like I like that. It feels like he's like Dame like. It feels like he's going to bring that Dame type of play where it feels like he is a 2.0 version of him, where it's like offensively like what you can expect. He's going to be fun. He's going to shoot the lights out. Like the guy was a 40% shooter in college. That's hard to do, and the defense is kind of lacking a little bit. But like the Sacramento thing is not fun, but like he is going to make a lot of people in Sacramento happy because of just how fun and electric he is, and like he has that dog in him. He definitely does. And like there's a reason Calipari loved him at Arkansas.
yeah. Like Calipari always loves his guards. He even compared. I remember he was doing the NV compared him to Shea, and I get it.
Yeah,
Might not physically be Shea, but I get it. Score. Also, Allen Iverson comparisons, which is his favorite player by far. But
yeah,
like you say, like he's going to be money because anytime you're a great scorer, you're going to be money because people are going to tune in when they start hearing about your big games. Let's just say with the way his game is, if it translates, which I think we think it is, because we've seen small guards dominate the league, you know. So he's going to have some big games. Don't be surprised if he maybe has a 50-point game in his rookie season. Just
yeah.
just throwing that out there. I wouldn't be surprised. You tell me Darius Acuff has a 50-point game under his bag. That's a rookie.
Man, I
I don't think
honestly
I would
wouldn't be
bat an eye.
surprised if he made a little bit of a run for Rookie of the Year. I mean, he might try to
Nah,
toss his hat in there.
it's just the Kings are going to be so bad. And which I like, with as far as team record go, I don't think it should matter when you're strictly talking about how the rookie performing. But then again, I take that back because if you have a rookie leading the team or a big part of a team that's in playoff contention or whatever, then you know what they obviously they should have a chance to win Rookie of the Year and be a favorite. And I take that back what I just said. But King's not gonna be good, so I don't think he'll have a chance unless he's just putting up the craziest numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I say that now I have to eat my words on that because if you want to be honest, LeBron and Carmelo was clearly the better rookie, their rookie season by far,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
and made the playoffs. And LeBron numbers
Yep.
with numbers, Melo had the better numbers and was on the better team, taking his team to the playoffs. LeBron was missing the action, so I mean, they
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy, but the media and the influence gets him there. It got him there that year, so. That's what the
Yeah.
media influence does. Because if you want to be honest about it, I want to say Coop probably had slightly better numbers than Canupo, but they were neck and neck. I just feel like Canupo
Yeah.
was having a better season because he was actually playing for a team that was in contention. So
Yeah.
I feel like Khan should have won Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah, I mean, like
But
Khan had a really good case. Khan had an excellent case. Like, so I know Charlotte fans are probably a little bit salty about that, but I mean, like, hey, like the fact that you hit on them, I think you like, hey, listen, you take pride in that, and like, hey, we got a dude in here that's going to be good for us for a long time. I think
yeah,
I do like a little bit. I do like San Antonio's guys that they drafted, like Quinson's from Kentucky. Like speaking of Kentucky,
yeah,
like they drafted
yeah.
him.
That's a great pickup for him. They basically got two fours that they solely needed. So Champagne
Yeah,
will have to play the four.
yeah, and Terrace Reed from UConn, like who's really good for UConn too. So
Yeah, Quinn's was nice though. Seriously, Quinn's is nice.
he is like, I know the thing with him has been like he's the injury that he's coming off of, and like that's like of course that's a big concern, but like that's a big need for San Antonio, and they filled them pretty well. Let's kind of talk about our teams for a little bit. I kind of talked a little bit about what booze meant for the Grizzlies here, and but you know the Kareem Lopez pick. I think I would have preferred them go with Carr or Fallon there. Of course, they did a couple trade downs because, like I told you, they loved hoarding the second round picks in this draft for whatever reason. They like we want to get like 5 second rounders, but I just feel like with how their guard situation is set up, it feels like they got a lot, and they want to see what they got with some of them. But I also would have liked to see them try, if they are looking for a job replacement, to go and try to get somebody. Lopez, though, I do like that he's physical, like he has upside on defense, and like the shot is there. It's just like getting on it, working on it, and he's played in the NBL. You know, he's played down in Australia, so he's got pro experience. But he's another big body, so I mean, I
Yeah,
like him.
I think people forget these. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just thinking. I think people forget that these guys have been playing pro for X amount of years. So I
Yeah,
don't know why they'd be so surprised when these guys come in performing against grown men. Like it's the
yeah,
same, same situation with Luca. Luca had been playing against grown men since he was 16. So when he
yeah.
came over and started dominating, to a casual surprise. But I was like, these guys already been playing professional for X amount of years. They used to the physicality. Like I said, I felt that's a good pick, even though I didn't know about him, but like I looked up a couple of highlights and I seen Ivy's touted. I was like, that's a really good pick,
Yeah.
like a really good pick. Could be one of those sneak picks that could turn to your best player pick. It
I
wasn't
mean, I mean, the
a top 10
Grizzlies have
pick.
been known for that. The Grizzlies have been known for that the last few years,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
So I mean, it wouldn't be too much of a surprise. At 32, they picked Richie Saunders from BYU. Charles, I don't know if you learned this fun fact, but he's the great grandson of the guy that created tater tots. Uh, so,
no, I didn't know that. That's a fun fact. That's pretty cool.
so it's like, hey man, like I already know there's going to be some tater tot action that they're going to be trying to come up with, for like some fun night there at the Forum, like that they're going to have to find a way to come up with that, and then they traded for
Tater tot
Isaiah
night.
Stewart. Uh,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
so. Like I said,
it,
I love that. I love that big Stu move. I feel
man,
bad for Detroit. That's somebody I would rather. They probably still gonna get out Durant, but it's kind of like they got rid of the staple, Big Stu, fan favorite
mm,
in Detroit with the grit and toughness. Fits right in
man,
with your Grizzlies,
man. I
as we
know
talked about.
somebody was joking that Kleiman, like they didn't know what he was cooking, but apparently it was beef stew.
uh,
Well, I was like, man, hey, he sure was, and like he traded the 3 second round picks he got from Detroit the night before. It's like, man, no, we don't want these picks. We actually don't want them. We actually don't want. We just want Isaiah Stewart. Um, I'm really excited about what he can bring to the table as a backup big, as like a guy that can really set a culture, and like it. I thought about like I flashed back to when our teams played each other last year in the playoffs, and I thought about that moment where Ja got hurt. Had the thing with Dort, and like I think we probably talked about
oh
like
yeah,
it felt like none of the
oh
Grizzly
yeah,
guys really like stood up and really and
yeah,
got like chippy into it.
yeah. Big Stu would have
Look,
ran out the bench ready to box up Lou. That's one. Yeah, he about one of the only guys. Hey, Lou, stand down. You're a beast, but that beef stew was too much, man. Yeah, I love you, Lou. You don't want that smoke.
all right, so we talked a little bit about the Grizzlies. Uh, Charles, we kind of talked about what the Thunder could do during the draft on last pod, and I kind of talked to you about, it seemed like there were rumors that both of the Grizzlies and Thunder were going to trade up. So, and I kind of was like, hey, that's
Yeah,
probably going to happen. Well, it's not. It didn't
and
happen.
it and it didn't happen.
And actually, we ended up doing a trade with each other.
Yeah, that's funny how that worked too.
Yeah, so we didn't trade up, but we did make a trade with each other. And I mean, the Thunder kind of traded up with the Grizzlies, and we got seconds. I mean, I know Presti was probably hoarding the second round picks. Like, here, we'll give you three of them, or
Yeah,
something like that.
I mean that's what you use the picks for future for future assets. You got to move those to bring in more future assets or go get what you need right now, whether it's draft or free agency.
Yep, like you notice that on a lot of these trades, like the second round picks is kind of like what gets it done. It kind of helps move the needle a little bit for some of these trades.
Yeah,
But no, man, it was
that
kind
ain't
of a
first round
surprise when
picks.
we both made a trade. It was like, huh, I didn't have that. I didn't think we'd do that. I thought,
Yeah,
I, like you said, it's funny how it worked out. But no, talk about your Thunder a little bit because you kept both picks at 12, and then you ended up trading with the Grizzlies and getting Bennett Spritz, the guard out of Baylor, and then you got Mara at 12, which it seemed like there's a connection there. Like you could have traded up to go get him, but falls down to 12. How you liking adding those two guys to what you already got there in OKC?
as I told you before the show began, going on a limb here. If we're healthy next year, championship again in Oklahoma. I already called it. I'm already calling it. I was saying it this year, and I was heavy on it. Injuries basically ruined that. Actually, no, I take that back. Chet ruined that because you could have played better against San Antonio.
Man,
You give us 10. You give us 10 to 15 points. We win comfortably against San Antonio in Game 7 instead of losing by 6
yeah,
or
yeah,
7. I couldn't. But no. Besides that point, these moves just basically were security blankets. Dropped Amara for the future to pair next to Chet, which that front court is or back court. Excuse me. No, that's front court. That's front court, right?
yeah.
Bigs. Sorry, y'all know I thought about back court. Back court, you guards. But yeah, that front court is basically the rim protection is at an all time high, the best it's probably ever been in Oklahoma. Even going back to the Ibaka and Steven Adams days, or if not better, it's right there with that that level of talent. But yeah, the big lineup. I love the big lineup that we got because this is gonna be hard to come by points in the paint. And another trend that I think every team is leaning forward to is every team is starting to realize they got to get bigger, have that rim protection. Like if you look across the league, it's finally getting back to make sure you got bigs to protect the paint,
Mm-hmm.
not just stretch
Yep.
fives and fours. Like legit, that's what we're seeing now. But that big rotation, and now that we know we're keeping Harnstein, who basically just reworked his deal to get paid, cheaper, to get paid less by Keesus off the luxury tax of second apron. But basically, like he takes a pay cut, but works out another 3-year deal with another team option after that. I say Presti's a genius when it comes to that. So once again, back to the Lamar pick, that just secures like security blanket. Got another real true enforcer that's not skin and bones like Chet that you're not gonna be able to bully in the paint. He basically is off Wemby because you're not even gonna attempt to go at the paint. Imagine Castle or Harper or even Fox trying to attack him in the lane.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna see them guards and like many other guards across the league not even running into the lane. And
Yeah.
then if
It's
Chet
appropriate fear,
yeah,
like
yeah, like he literally has to paint shit down. And then if Chet is there playing against him, they'll be protecting the rim. But also, you can have Mara come off the bench and still keep it Hornstein in check, but not just Mara. You basically have Jay Will, and then we had Thomas Sorber, who we didn't even get to see play. Still stands even if
yep.
they want to pursue any trades or anything involving him or Topic, by the way, which I'll get back to Topic in a second. But, like the Oklahoma big lineup, you can't bully us on the boards. I feel like we're going to be a top rebounder team. That's been like hard to come by even having Harnstein and Chet. We're, middle of
Yeah.
pack. But Hartenstein makes that much of a difference. Just like I say, Chet still skin and bones. But with Moore, Hartenstein, and Sorber, all guys that had great length and girth. Excuse me. But just big guys, man, that can take those space and protect the rim, like legit protect the rim. Like the Oklahoma rim protection and rebound is going to be insane. I think that's what I'm most excited for. We finally have a team that rivals when it was Ibaka, Steven Adams, and Perkins. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we literally had some big bodies in the paint that's a legendary defense. So
Yeah.
that Mara pick is way bigger. It's not just for being a Wemby stopper because hey, Wemby, look
Yeah.
who's going to be at the rim for you. Oh, and if Chet playing off a shooter, oh yeah, yeah, we finna make it tough for everybody. We don't care that you got a four because I feel like all our bigs are better than the bigs y'all get outside of you. That's just
Yeah.
how I feel right now. They draft some nice pieces, but I think our bigs are this big front line is way better. And like I say, it's gonna be hard to come by points. So, uh, I like really this was a solid pickup. And as I've been seeing, like people are like, how did the NBA let the Thunder do this? Well, thank Paul George because that trade
Yeah.
finally ended with that Mara pick.
He's a Paul George is a gift that keeps on giving, man.
Oh yeah, and he gave for the past 7 years. Thank you, PG.
Hey, can he get a
Oklahoma
ring after
legend.
what? Can,
Oh
can,
yeah,
can,
they got his boxed up. His ready.
yeah, I feel like he needs a ring, man.
It's sitting in a cryogenic chamber. So when he comes to get his Oklahoma City jersey retired, because I said they did retire 13, unless another player comes through and just goes crazy in a jersey. I think I'd probably see PG even over Harden because Harden didn't get to play there long enough.
Yeah. Hey, Harden didn't bring
Well,
what
they really
OKC has. He didn't bring
yeah.
Shea.
Really, if you think about it, they kind of played the same amount of years in Oklahoma. Harden was there since 2009, so from 9 to
Yeah.
12, so 3 years, one more year than PG. PG at least gave
Yeah.
two with solid playoff performances, still better than James Harden in my opinion. But
Yeah. But
that's
I mean,
that's naysay.
PG helped bring titles to OKC, and he
Oh yeah,
wasn't a part of them.
yeah.
He didn't
Like I
play for
say,
any of
Thunder.
them.
Hey, Thunder legend, man. That man is stamped in Oklahoma right now.
Build that man a statue.
Yeah. So if PG wasn't as good as he is, this doesn't happen. So thank you, PG. But yeah, like you say that they more pick. At first, my main gripe was he was big, big man, being that big, they always have a lot of injuries, especially when they're heavier.
Yeah.
But they all had their pros and cons, but I think that's a really, really solid pick, a great solid pick, if I might add. And now to the main course. Really, when you think Mars should be the main course because he dropped it higher, but Bennett Sturts. Talk about the Iowa legend that went crazy this year. Played the Baylor. Missouri homeboy, so shouts out, West,
Yeah. For those that don't know, he went to Northwest
yeah,
Missouri State for a little bit. So
those are folks. Those are folks,
yeah,
right now. Those are guys.
yeah,
Even though I just found out about him this year, but that's to the draft. But watching the
yeah,
highlights and stuff, he's basically was the blueprint of what Oklahoma was missing this year, with having two more playmakers out the east that load off Shea. And by the way, I think his scoring is going to transition effortlessly. I was watching him, and people make comparisons. They thought he was like Austin Reeves. I see Austin Reeves and Luka with the way he can play, make, and see the floor. Dude is a pure. He's basically a pure scorer with a pure shot because his 3-point shooter. He's shooting out the dribble like Steph, creating his own shot,
yeah.
coming
He
off the
is.
screen, and like his jump shot is the release is so quick that you really can't even contest it. I was like, man, this dude. I was like, you want to talk about steals? This is straight up steal. So if AJ and Dub are quote unquote missing playoffs or not there, this guy's picking right up off that load. It kind of makes me wonder if we'll get out Topic in a trade because we basically got another guy that's Topic.
Yeah,
As far as like I say, the only gripe I think people tried to make where he's not the best defensively, but I was like, as long as he tries, but in Oklahoma, you're gonna have to try to even touch that floor. So I'm pretty sure he'll be working his tail out to defend on that end. But also, Oklahoma, once again, it's the perfect spot to be if you're not quote unquote a great defender or
yeah.
don't have the physicality. Heck, Jared McCain, prime example. And Jared McCain actually plays
Yep.
defense and tries. AJ Mitchell may be a little bit undersized, but plays defense, tries, and actually is a really great defender. But it's like if there's any defense that can afford, to take a hit and you still probably won't even notice, it is Oklahoma. And this guy's everything we need. Like the passing, Brino. Like like the passing lane. Like he doesn't make like the simple passes. This guy's making the passes where he's using the misdirects where you see somebody cutting, you would think, oh, hit that cut. He gonna hit the 3-point shooter, or he might know. So if he comes off the screen with a shooting big, he come off, and if he touches paint, the shot is pass going right back to the big. He makes some of the uncanny passes, the behind the back. Like his passing is ideal, and to me, it's elite. I think they, doing the dropout averages, they were like doing the grades of him. They had passing like at a 90, to like the A+. So I was like, dude can pass. I clearly can shoot and create his own bucket. So he's not gonna have a problem creating his own jump shot. And that's like I say, always having another playmaker that can really see the floor, like a true playmaker, pure point, and a pure scorer, because dude can really shoot. Like this just opens the floor up. Oh, double team Shea. Oh, I'm throwing it to him. Like this dude knocked down. And I love Jerry McCain and Isaiah Joe. Love my boy Joe. No, he's gone. Pistons. They needed that 3-point shooter, so I think that's a pretty big addition for them. But this third pick, man, I love this pick. Like when I seen it and I started watching highlights, I was like, y'all just let us get the one thing that Shea them needed this playoff run due to injuries. I was like, dude, y'all just secure Oklahoma a championship and probably Rhino. Let's be honest about it, man. Like this team isn't going anywhere. The team that's here now, this team is going to at least here for the next 3 years. That's with all the Shea on contract, with all the role players that they're assigned. I think Lou Dort will possibly be traded just to get us right on the apron, since we know we're signing Arnstein for another 3. But Casey Wallace is still there, and we can extend Queso without hurting us on the salary cap too, which is big. Like I say, we can literally have all these guys. AJ Mitchell's here for at least another 2 years with another player, a team option, I might say. And then like I say, Jared McCain, all these new guys are going to be on rookie contracts. So you get to see Sorber and, like I say, Sturts, how they get to build and grow around what we already had. Like it's a kind of, we throw the dynasty out there too much, but like, is there any way you don't see us at least trying to repeat and win multiple championships within, let's say, a 3-year window? And the only team I'm looking at the West is maybe the Spurs, obviously getting better. Minnesota, I think gonna be pretty lethal with LaMelo. Hard to say how the defense aligns, with them missing so many bigs. They definitely gotta get a 4. But other than that, like, and league always changes, so they could be redundant. We have another great young team just on the roster dominating the next few years. But I feel like Oklahoma is gonna be, like we already said, we've seen them dominate well into the next decade, into the 30s. But let's say they have a 3-year window. I can see them at least, if healthy, big emphasis on healthy. But I feel like they would have enough to where this year I feel like if you lose J-Dub, you for sure got another scoring punch in loads. And we basically got a big to secure picking up the slack for Chet if he has a down series again against Wemby. But like, it's just safe to say that maybe in this 3-year period, Oklahoma could round off another 2 championships, or at least 1.
Yeah, I think one is probably like, if you get 1, I mean, like that's already big. But if you get 2, that's huge. But I mean, like, I feel like this is like what you kind of need to do when you have like those big contracts of Shea, Chet, J-Dub coming in. Is like you need to hit on the rookies. It's kind of like the same thing in the NFL where when you have these high price contracts, you need to really be precise with your drafting, because you have those guys on rookie contracts. Those are invaluable to your roster structure.
Yeah, especially
and
the
just
guys.
like,
Yes,
yeah. Oh no, but it's just like I think I mentioned this maybe like a pod or 2 before when we were talking about like OKC's building, where it's like it feels like they are the Philadelphia Eagles of the NBA, where like Howie Roseman, just kind of like how he builds the Eagles, he drafts a year ahead. Like he doesn't necessarily draft for need. That's kind of like the mold that Presti has kind of taken into effect here, and how he drafts. Like, hey, we're going to draft, because we don't know if Hardenstein's going to be in here. Well, let's bring in Mara. And so, like, okay, well, we have Hardenstein insurance, but also you have a guy that can be a potential starter for us long term. You get Spritz in there from, you bring him in there. We don't know what's the situation going to be like when Casey Wallace's contract, AJ Mitchell's contract comes up. So
Yeah.
we're bringing in a guy that can offers a scoring punch, and also he has help defensively with everybody around him. So I think it's just like the team building effect there. I think in the NBA, I mean, the NFL is such a grueling sport. You only got so many years in the NBA. You can play a little bit longer. And so I think this allows Pressey to just really like go in and just kind of have this method of like, hey, we're going to have this type of model and like how we draft and just like making sure we get these picks right because of who we got on our roster. And if we get them right, great. But if we don't, it might hurt us a little bit. And then we got to go and figure out, okay, let's get some other guys in here to help us
Yeah.
out long term.
But I think it's safe to say, Oklahoma can develop players like no other. And we haven't
That
seen it through the years.
that is true. That is true. All I'll
And
say though, man, I cannot wait for the rebounding battles between the Grizz and the Thunder. They are going to be some wars, man, that are going to take us back to those early 2010s days. They
oh
are.
yeah. Yeah.
Like Boozer's already saying, like, hey, man, we are going to be a good rebounding duo. Like, no cap. He was like,
That's
hey,
what
we're going
that, that's what you like to hear. That's what you like to hear from your rookies. At least he has that grit already. Like
he
I like
does.
I love it. I don't want to lose the rebound battle. It kind of reminds me of having a big on 2K. I hate losing the rebound, especially if I'm the biggest
Yeah.
big on the floor, or like 7'2", 7'3", with the maxed out wingspan, with a decent vert and 99 defensive rebound, probably 85 offensive, and I miss a rebound or a guard gets the rebound on me. It infuriates me so bad. So I can only imagine in real life being a big. I do not want anybody else getting that rebound from right there
No.
around the rim, especially if I'm a bigger big than you. And no way that I'm letting a guard out rebound me. Like
Yeah.
fundamentals of boxing out, watching and going after that rebound. And I like to hear stuff like that. Because I think y'all, like I say, y'all got a rhythm with Boozer.
Yeah.
Uh, that's
Yeah.
a great pickup. And like you say, don't rebound the battles. That'll be so
It's going
fun.
to take us back, man. Like we were talking about the early, 2010s earlier, but I like they're going to take us back there. Like it's going to be some wars, man. Chet versus Boozer. You got Edie versus Hartenstein and Mara. Like, bro, that's a real thing. Like Mara versus Edie. Like, bro, like
That's gonna be fun.
it's
Yeah,
like two behemoths. Just like, well, who's going to come out on top here between these two?
yeah. Just
It's
move.
just,
Look, just move out the way when one of them has to fall and hit the deck.
oh,
Because you
goodness.
may be injured in the process if they fall back on the ankle or something. I'm just saying.
No, there's no
those are
problem.
some
You will
big.
be hurt.
Those are some big bodies, man.
Yeah, you better get out the way.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Um, but no, I think for both our teams, pretty solid drafts, and I'm really excited about where it takes both of our teams and kind of see where it leads. And I think we both our teams end up doing really good, especially in the draft. I mean, it is kind of no surprise. Like Thunder are good at drafting. The Grizzlies have been good at drafting. There's been a couple misses, but they've had some good drafts. But it should
It's
be
bound. It's bound to happen. It's
yeah.
bound to happen. But one thing about Presti is Presti just has an off talent because this is the guy that drafted KD, Russ, and Horn back to back.
Yep.
You can even throw Serge Ibaka in there.
Yeah.
Like if you look at all the draft picks he's hit on that we know are hits in the league and still are very good players and great role players throughout the league. Like Presti just has an off talent. Even with all the basically drafting like if you look at Jalen J Dub out of Santa Clara, mid major, nobody's probably paying attention to him on their radar. But now you do a redraft, J Dub probably at least goes top 3, top 5 at least.
Yeah. He
If
definitely does.
no, if even that, seeing what he's become. But Presti just has a way of finding that talent. And like we talked about before, he basically drafts the replacements for the players he knows might not be able to pay or will have to eventually go, especially if they're offered more money. And these
Hmm.
players deserve that money. Like Hartenstein left, I'm not even mad. Go get your money out hard. You brought us a championship. You owe
Yeah.
Oklahoma nothing. Great player, but look, we already got the replacements in Sorber and Moore, which we know will work out. But and he just basically drafts the replacements for whatever he knows he's going to lose down the line. Like
Yeah.
the Sturts pick was basically the a pickup for Isaiah Joe and Wiggins. Lou we have to lose them to take a pay cut, but Sturts makes up for all their scoring, but brings more playmaking, a factor that we were missing. When Dub and AJ were out. So you filled that hole. But then again,
Mm-hmm.
like I say, you dropped in Mara. Lou Dort's replacement already was here, and Queso Wallace. Queso just as good on defense. Some people try to argue better. And I'm not there yet. Still, Queso amazing defender, obviously better shooter than Lou right now. But
Yeah.
we basically got that Lou Dort replacement ready to lock and load on him. And like I say, I mean, like obviously they'll keep drafting, and like you're going to miss on some draft picks, but Presley has pretty good eye at getting players even super late that just make a difference. But like, where did this guy come from? How did so many teams pass on him? Well, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Presti is the blueprint, and
Yeah.
like I say, he's rebuilding. He's building for the future because he has Thunder set up for right now to win, but also basically secured for the future. So when the Shea era is over, I mean,
Yeah.
it's safe to say that they become the team where they having multiple eras of found success. Like Lakers always had that. Them and the Celtics, because they've been around a lot, so they've been able to rebuild dominant dynasty teams throughout the years. But with Oklahoma, probably get into that threshold at least as long as Presti in the front office. Because we had the KD Russ era. Now we're in the Shea era. And then, maybe down the line, the 2040s and 50s, it's another
Oh
great Thunder team.
man. I say let's hold on to that. Let's see what Charlotte does with those 2033 picks. Let's see what Charlotte does with those
But
2033
no,
picks.
Charlotte might become the most dominant future team. I mean, you can sit
Like,
back and remember when they had LaMelo Ball and were barely making the playoffs?
yeah, now they just drafted this dude who's probably like in middle school right now.
Yeah. They probably drafting the next GOAT who's in middle school, probably eating the icy right now since the summer. Lips probably full of red Kool-Aid right now.
Man, probably. Hey, that's a good transition. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know how much time is on the Zoom clock, so we'll have to see how this goes. But
What is
we
with
got
the Zoom today?
I do not know. Yeah, the Zoom clock. I do not know. We'll see how much time we have. If we have to do another recording, we'll have to do another recording. But we got two trades to talk about. Giannis, and speaking of Charlotte, LaMelo. It was kind of wild seeing Shams kind of drop that in the second round, and just like,
Yeah,
hey,
that
hey
was that was that's a bomb. I was at work, but what's I work?
I'm,
No, no. I think I woke up and I think I woke up right now. I actually didn't even know Melo had got traded. I woke up the next morning and like woke up like 4 hours after all the news popped off and seen it. I was like, what in the world?
yeah,
I was like, yo, I was like, well, Minnesota saw one of their problems needing another playmaker next to Ant and shot creator. Got that in spades with LaMelo. Like I say,
definitely.
but they kind of just take a hit on defense, losing Randall and Nas Reed. I think giving a Nas Reed was kind of one that really hurt them because let's face, he was going to be a starting for with Randall gone, but they definitely got to get some size, and then they kept Rudy, which
Yeah,
some people had their gripes about that, but I think Rudy is perfect just putting another shoom big against him. Well, beside him, and they just need to get a true four because I don't think you want to throw Jaden McDaniels into going full on force in the league because Jaden is tall, lanky, and wiry, but
yeah, he
you don't want
is.
him banging. You don't want him banging for a whole 82 game season plus, with true fours and just bigger guys. Because that's along the body, and then that's the new change when you have to go from guarding wings and smaller guards to straight on fours.
Yeah.
Possibly even fives if Rudy gets in foul trouble because I can't even think of who's their backup center.
Well, I think it's somebody. I've
Did
seen
they
comments.
draft?
I don't know
Did they
who it
draft?
is, but I think it's another Frenchman. I think it's another Frenchman that they really like.
Yeah, well,
Um,
they better find do something about their big. That's the only hole I see in there. See now because
the
they're
Zoom clock just showed
guard
up, and
heavy.
we do have less than 10 minutes, so it came up this time. It came up this time. I don't
Yeah.
know why it didn't come up last time, but yeah. Um, no, yeah, they definitely need to. Like they're not done adding moves, but like this backcourt is going to be exciting. I saw a lot of comments saying like Minnesota, you better fear for your roads because with LaMelo on them, like,
Yeah.
watch out.
I think they said car insurance and child support is definitely going up in the city now.
Definitely, car
If you
insurance
know, you
definitely.
know. Yeah. But
um,
I think I'm just more happy for Ant finally having another shot creating playmaker beside him.
and like it's the number one and number three picks in that draft together. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. Like I saw somebody say like, "Hey, maybe go see if James Wiseman is available, so you can get the top three picks on that same team from that draft." And so it's like, hey, maybe that can be their big. I don't know, but that is interesting. I think also LaMelo works with Rudy because that Rudy is a great pick and roll partner for a guy like LaMelo. Can throw it up to Rudy.
Melo is going to make.
It's going to be
I
fun.
think he's going to actually make the game so much easier for Rudy because Melo is a
Yeah,
true point guard no matter how you like his game or not because he plays the street ball style of game where he throws up bad shots, will take bad shots, over dribble the ball sometimes, but for the most part, um, just a pure playmaker. That'll be big time for Rudy, and he's gonna make the game so much easier. Now you can't double team and as much, and just a really solid pickup. Um,
yeah, and like they re-signed
like
Io, so like you got three really good guards right there. So
yeah,
like hey, like I know I know we talked about Jaden not playing four, but like hey, maybe you have a closeout lineup of Jaden at the four, and you have those three guys out there on the floor together. Lamelo, Io, and because like those three are like long guards right there. So
that,
that can maybe be a really good lineup right there to close out.
that's that's a fun team. Seriously,
It is fun. It
seriously,
raises their ceiling definitely for sure. But like, yeah, they need to go and find somebody at the
they
four
need
to try to help them out.
they need a true four. I'm pretty sure, like you say, they're not done, so
Yeah,
we'll definitely see them find somebody.
they will. They will. And so I think this makes them a really compelling team coming. In the West. With those two in the backcourt. Like, and somebody was saying like Lamelo's been in the league 7 years along with Ants. Like, oh my goodness, man! Like, how's it already been 7 years with these guys?
Yeah,
Like,
this time is flew. It's crazy
uh,
to think, but 2020 is basically about to be 7 years ago.
that is crazy.
It's
I
no joke.
saw I saw a meme of like the last a few number one picks, and it's just like everybody's been great, and then it's kind of like the Hydra meme where it's like you have all these great guys like Flag, Wimby, DeBonsa being a generational player in college, and then you have like Rishashir from the Hawks, and he's just like that weird looking Hydra that looks like he doesn't belong. Um, so
Yeah, I hate the picture painting around Reese Shea. Reese Shea didn't even expect to go number one. Didn't think he was the number one pick. He doesn't even think he's the number one pick. He said, and it's crazy for a number one pick to not even think he's the number one pick. I think should always had a confidence no matter where he's slated, but um, I think Reese Shea with everything going on in Atlanta, I think he just needs a fresh restart. Atlanta's pretty redundant with all the forwards and guards.
yeah, you got Jalen
So
Johnson in there,
then they
like
just, then they just traded for Wiggins, and Wiggins is going to get some playing time on that team.
yeah, and you got
Like
Alexander Walker on there, so
yeah, Nas already a beast. So
yeah,
yeah, I think Reese Shea, we could see Reese Shea in a trade, and then who knows, maybe he does pan out to their first pick talent.
maybe so. I know the meme was like, oh, like he was after Wimby, and like under is like, I'm also from France. So I mean, it's just like, oh man, but yeah, no, like it's crazy how it's already come up that quickly. But I think for Wolves fans, it's exciting, but also it's unnerving because it's like, who's going to be at four, and also just like Lamelo and like his health because that's another variable there. Like, how healthy is he going to be? But I mean, that is going to be an extremely fun backcourt with him and Ant teaming up together. It's going to be like, it's going to be fireworks on offense with those two in the same backcourt. And it's like and like again, it's a big backcourt too because LaMelo, big point guard, Ant is a big shooting guard. It's going to be a lethal backcourt with a guy that was a number one overall pick and number 3 overall pick. It's and both are really still young. Like despite being 7 years in, like they haven't even really reached their primes yet, to be honest. But
No,
so
no, they're so young that they're promising for like another 2 years at least,
right. So I
two to
mean,
three, 2 to 3 years at least. So they have plenty of time to be even better than what they already are, which are spectacular players in the league now.
yeah. So for Charlotte, I don't know. Maybe it's like they're selling high on LaMelo, but like with all they got right now, like with how they played last year, I wonder what's coming up. I mean, they did just extend
Yeah,
Kobe White. Khan was great
that's
for him last year. Brandon, you know, their big
did they
rotation has gotten a whole lot better though. Like you had Nas in that
yeah,
group.
yeah, but yeah, that big rotation is elite in my opinion because you have Nas, you
Um,
have Diabate, you have Kalkbrenner,
yep.
which I'm probably wondering are they going to start Nas and Musa together? They might be a little bit small as far as the backcourt goes, but they had reinsurance and a true shot blocker and Kalkbrenner coming off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think like you say, their big lineup got significantly better though. Nas is a pretty big pickup. Like
Yes,
I
he's
say,
gonna
they'll
stretch the floor.
like
Yeah.
we expect them to be we expect them to be pretty good in the East anyway. So I think they'll be a team that at least I think I'm putting them past the plan because they've been right in that territory every year. Even with LaMelo, I think they've gotten better with these pickups that they have. So I can see them being at least 6 seed. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. All I say, Charlotte,
still,
we can offer you a John Morant. We can. Hey, they're saying like they want picks attached to them. Like Charlotte, we might have a 2033 pick waiting for you guys if you want another one. What's to stop you from having a fourth 2033 pick? Hey, I'm sure we got it. So it was like, hey, come and get it. But no, I think Charlotte. I mean, for them, I think and they're probably like they trust Kobe White to really be their point guard and just like run with him and Khan in that backcourt. You have Brandon Miller. Like they got a nice young nucleus there in Charlotte that can win them games. That was really fun last year. So I mean, we'll see, but I mean, hey, maybe they do trade for a job because I mean, like all the teams that need point guards, like they got their needs filled, and like Kobe is good, but like, hey, if Ja can get back to what he was, then hey, it might be a little bit more fun out there in Charlotte. It might be.
look at Rhino shipping John to Charlotte.
Hey man, I'm just saying like it feels like where things are right now. So like it feels inevitable. It feels inevitable. I mean, there's a reason
it's
Boozer picked
definitely
the number 27. I
it's
mean, he
definitely
also picked it because like his mom, that's his mom's number right there. But I mean, there's
yeah.
a reason
It's
why.
it and I think it's definitely coming. It's just we don't know when. Like you say, I feel like John's gonna have to get on the court and play. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, final thing on the schedule for things we got to talk about. We got to talk about Giannis getting traded. We talked a little bit about it last pod. We did not know. We weren't sure if when Giannis was going to be traded, whether it was going to be before draft, during draft, after draft. Turned out it was going to be before the draft. The Bucks and the Heat made this trade before the draft, and to kind of get in the details of it, Giannis, Bobby Portis going to Miami for Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Vasquez, Kasparas, Jakuonis, and
Think about
listen, it's a time to say that last name. I know Heat fans are probably like, well, at least he was on the team long that we didn't have to try to learn the name a whole lot.
yeah, that's it's kind
Uh,
of crazy they gave up on it. I don't want to say gave up. They just gave away their
yeah,
young pick. He could have
yeah,
developed into something nice. At least he always
and
does on 2K. You see
yeah,
him a couple seasons.
and then 3 first-round picks, including 13, which we already kind of talked a little bit about with Nate Ament, and 2031, 2033 pick. Charlotte's just like screaming right now because that's another 2033 pick right there.
Yeah.
They're
So much for
going to be
2033.
calling Milwaukee's pretty soon.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a pick swap and a second rounder. So that is the Giannis trade going to Miami. Now that it's all kind of finalized, well, not finalized with the new league year coming up shortly, but like now with it being set in stone that Giannis is going to be a part of the Heat for the next a little bit now. Looking at the fit, I mean, defensively, it's a dream. It's a dream with him, Bam, all those guys there. And on some level for Miami, you had to do this because this is your ticket to try to get into the upper echelon into the East and get your star. But on another level, though, like we mentioned, Jakuonis, and like you see all the other players that they traded, it does kind of gut the team of a lot of the young, promising talent that you had for the future.
Yeah. Very, very true. We know the Milwaukee. I mean, not Milwaukee, but we know the Miami's more than likely not done. Going into the offseason with filling out the rest of this roster, and then with getting Giannis, there's the illuminant glory of losing Norman Powell because let's face it, Norman can go get his biggest payday ever if he leaves. So and you can't blame him, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they'll finish hashing out what would help. We all know they could use, some more shooting, get their bench together. Because starting lineup constructed, even losing they maybe Norman Powell, I think it's still a pretty decent starting lineup. And like I say, you still got Wiggins, Davion Mitchell, Giannis and Bam, and then, fill in for the five. I mean, three, which I'm guessing is Bobby Portis because no way. What the Miami bench will look like. So it's kind of rocky right now, but they gave us so many pieces, so they'll have nothing to do but fill in with at least vet minimums. Probably who say there probably won't be another trade going on here sometime soon.
maybe. I think for Milwaukee, the Milwaukee side of things, I mean, like it is not necessarily like the true and best offer you probably could have gotten, but it's just like the most you could have gotten from Miami. I think just like all the guys that they got. I mean, again, that's a lot of the young talent that Miami had, and you pretty much got all of it. You got Hero, who's made an All Star appearance, so like he's like the best player you're getting from Miami. But Ware has had moments, Hawkins has had moments, Jacones, he's still waiting on him to kind of see what he can do. But I mean, this is probably the best that you could probably get from Miami. I mean, you do get three firsts, so I mean that for them. I mean, what we talked about last time. Miami that Milwaukee is looking to embrace the rebuild and try to figure out what life post Giannis is going to be for them. And I think listen, you get a lot of young talent from a team, even though it's not necessarily the cream of the crop young talent that you see across the league. It's still a nice starting point, and you can see what these guys can look like in Milwaukee's system together with the players that they have. So I mean
Yeah,
that is that, and this is like maximizing what you can get for Giannis, even though again it's not necessarily the best deal they probably could have gotten. Maybe Jaylen
yeah.
Brown would have been
You
the
can't
best offer, but
you can't tell me there weren't other teams that were probably harping that youngest though. That probably could have had even better. So I'm pretty sure there are better throw-ins and pieces you could throw into there. You can tell me there are other teams that wouldn't have made a killing from that. They probably just shut it off to only talking to Boston, Miami, because they'll probably prefer destinations. Especially
yeah,
after New York won the championship, Giannis wants to stay in the East. I'm surprised he didn't look at going to Detroit, but then again, Detroit needed more shooting more than anything. But
yeah,
then again, they really just need another scorer next to Cade. So to each
yeah,
their own. But like we said, those Milwaukee, I think they still got a nice haul of young talent, plus with the young talent that they already had there. Plus, they still had some vets, but we don't know if they'll move out the Miles Turners, the Kuzmas. We'll have to see. But like you said, it's great young starting point. Who knows? And they're in the East, so who knows? Maybe they can make a play-in run. Get bounced in the first round and continue to rebuild.
yeah. I mean that is
It,
true,
it
and
is.
like
I
and
mean,
they had Burius and they had Ament. to this group. So I mean, like,
Yeah, I'm just thinking about more so like if you look at the top teams in the East, New York is there. Let's throw Indiana back in the mix. Boston is Boston. They'll be back. With or without Jaylen Brown, I just think they'll be good enough. And if Jaylen Brown stays in the East, depending on what team he goes to, they'll be in the mix. But yeah, Atlanta clearly going to be there, and Washington. Those are like the Washington, Atlanta, Boston, New York, and Miami.
Indiana, Detroit.
I mean, Indiana.
Yeah.
I just forgot Detroit. I just respected the heck out of Detroit. Those are top. Those would probably be the top five. And then I thought Indiana could come back right in the mix in the top five, or just right outside the top 5 and 6. Like Miami should be there, and Philly. Never mind on Milwaukee making the playoffs, being a playing team, because our teams I named just are basically better than them right now. Against current roster stand. So yeah, unless teams get hurt, but yeah, never mind.
Yeah,
Forget I
I
even
mean,
said they're making it. Forget I even said they're making a play-in, but it is the East. And like every year, we be surprised about what happens in the East with teams that should be doing good, sinking, and maybe some of the sinking teams getting to play-in. I ain't forgot to mention Orlando Magic, so never mind. Milwaukee is not better than any of those East teams we named. So yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see.
So
Like you said, you never know. You never know out east. I mean, there's so many things that can go on. But I mean, yeah. Miami. I mean, like, listen, like, I think the key is now, like, build your team out for agency, add some depth pieces, get some shooting, get some ball handling in there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the Bam Giannis fit is going to work. Maybe Bam can teach Giannis how to score 83 points. I don't know.
Hey, maybe they can convince Pat Riley to bring Thanasis over. I saw the Bleacher Report where Thanasis and him was the end of an era. Hey, maybe Giannis goes and gets support. Hey, I need my brother here. But Pat has a real good idea of it. Not budging and don't care what the player demands are. So then again, let's see if Giannis have to have some pull over there. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, we'll see.
The Nationals could actually be a punch off the bench now because they need a bench.
Yeah,
they made the Nationals plays meaningful minutes.
That's true. That's true. Like they need some bench help. Maybe he can come off the bench. I mean, honestly, man, like it feels like we could come off the bench for the Heat right now.
I give you a solid 2 and I give you a solid 2-1.
You might get nothing but fouls from me, man. You might, like you need somebody just to go hack somebody for get 6 fouls, like Mitchell Robinson. Like I can do it.
yeah, we liable for that. No, let's be real. You can't say NBA players. These guys are 6 foot, whatever. I probably get my shot pat more often than I would like. I say that about Isaiah Joe dominated. I mean Isaiah Thomas, dominated at 5'10", so we'll take that back. I'm crafty with the ball.
Like man, like how Wemby treated Brunson in that one game. That's like how 6'2", 6'3" players would treat us, man.
Yeah. They're smaller than the NBA, but they're taller. They're taller than the average person.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. It should be a fun time, and hey, free agency. It's starting Tuesday. It's starting Tuesday. It's
never get to the beans and butter, the beans and bread. I might say, of the off season. We love free agency.
It's starting. I think official tampering period. It starts at like 5:00 our time. So, we're going to be hearing stuff right away, pretty soon on Tuesday night about maybe some teams talking to some players, deals getting done. So the craziness never stops, brother. It never stops. It never stops with this league.
There's no telling what kind of crazy trades are still going to happen or yet to happen. There's going to mind blow us.
Guaranteed there's going to be something out of the blue that's just going to shock us and just be like, didn't see that coming.
And I'm going to text you like, this is one of the trades we were talking about, right?
This is something we talked about and just be like, what in the world is going on? But, I mean, yeah, so it's going to be starting here on Tuesday night, and then teams signing officially on the 6th. But we got that going on. We got summer league kicking up here pretty soon. Really excited about that. I know we're both excited to see the young guys on both our teams get some action and see how they do against some of the other young guys. Like, again, I'm excited to see Peterson going against Abonsa, Boozer going against Wilson, and all these other young players. But it is a fun time right now, man. It's kind of like the NFL right now. It just does not stop. It feels like it's becoming like constant news with stuff going on, rumors, and it's a fun time because like we can just speculate and talk about it and just like talk about the chaos. Uh,
Yeah, that's a very valid point.
so
Very valid point.
it's gonna be a fun couple days to see what happens on the Tuesday and see what happens. You might see where LeBron's going. I know that's a talking point right there. See if he goes somewhere else.
Maybe on retirement tour because it's time. Shut it down, buddy.
Hey, maybe he goes and joins the Heat. Miami run part two.
Yeah. No one's giving him that money for the contract he wants. This day, I don't understand why he just can't take a pay cut. I mean, you made so much money in the league. You're a billionaire, Nike lifetime. Let it go, Bron. If you seriously want to win, it's time to forget about the NBA contract money at this point in your career. You're not, well, I ain't going to say forget about it, but like the massive, 40, 50 mil that's still on the table for him.
Yeah. So, hey, we'll see if the Lakers budge. We'll see if they budge here in a couple days, or if they're going to be like, nah, we're not going to quite do it. So we're going to see. But Charles, man, as always, it's been a fun couple weeks talking hoops, with just
Oh,
like
yeah.
everything going on. Always fun, brother, talking hoops.
Always. That's for sure, Rhino.
Yes, sir. So, hey, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We'll see what happens here in the next couple days. I'm sure in the off season we'll kind of see and get check the temperature of the room of where things are with teams in the East and West here. Before the season gets started. But that's going to do it for us here, everybody. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. As always, do the usual podcast stuff. Subscribe, like, comment, YouTube stuff as well. But that'll do it for us here, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you guys soon.